Donk Nation, Jax and Janice, greetings and welcome to your Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some early week Steelers talk because we have a Thursday night game against New England. It's coming up, and thank God it's a short week because we can get this bitter taste of the Cardinals game out of my mouth. I'm joined by Laskers. I'm joined by Gingy. They were at the game, so maybe they have a little different perspective, although the weather delay did delay their intent on caring. And my oh my, Gingy, I don't know what to say other than the Arizona Cardinals were the better team on the football field.
Yeah, Donkey, disappointing outcome, of course. Really, again, Steelers playing Steelers football, leaving opportunities on the field in the first quarter, hanging around. Really had a sustained drive there until they got absolutely stuffed. 4th and 1, Kenny Pickett gets injured on the play. Cardinals turn around with a 99-yard answer. And that's pretty much the dagger from that point, I felt, Donkey.
Yeah, Laskers, I watched that game 3 times, and I've tried to find silver linings here, but at the end of the day, it was obvious. The better football team won that game. The Steelers playing their, hey, let's hope they make a mistake type of football, bites them in the butt. The Steelers playing their uninspired, that might as well have been called by Matt Canada, dude. We get down to the red zone throwing the ball. We're going to run in on first down, run it on second down, run a 3 wide receiver route on third down when we know they're playing zone, yet we don't have any concepts to attack a zone. They're all individual hook routes. No one's working off of each other. And then on fourth down, we're a power running football team, Laskers, that can't gain a damn yard.
Yeah, I just don't know even how to defend what we did this past week. And the funny thing, the funny thing, Donkey, is I went up to one of my coworkers who's been to a game with me and Gingy before, and I said, "Well, I'm glad we hired Canada back because it worked so well the first time. It's that was a Canada game. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We're playing down to our opponent, and we didn't even really try. I mean, it's the same thing that happened in the Browns game. Oh, and Tomlin, I don't think Tomlin actually said this, but we were expecting a low-score game, so that's how we plan, blah, blah, blah. Same Tomlin BS as the Browns game.
I hear you, Laskers, but down to your opponent would imply that you're better than your opponent. This Cardinals team, at least the iteration that has a healthy James Conner and a healthy Kyler Murray, is clearly a better football team than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think we have the right to say we played down to anyone because I'm not sure there's an NFL roster that's more void of overall talent than this Pittsburgh Steelers one. I mean, I know you can tell me Carolina, and yes, without a doubt, you are right there. But you take out teams like Carolina and maybe this week's opponent, New England, overall talent-wise, I don't see it anymore, Gingy.
Yeah, I don't know, Donkey. That was definitely not their best performance. Did not put anything together on offense. TJ got some pressure on defense. That's about it. That's what it's been, though.
Yeah, I mean, Keanu Benton looked pretty good. Don't get me wrong, the guys that were brought in by Omar Khan seem to be doing good, but the holdovers seem to be struggling. This is the first week everybody who's ever watched enough Joey Porter Jr. tape got to see why he fell to the second round. The dude does not play the ball well when it's in the air. We saw that on the big reception of the wide receiver down the right sideline. And the dude's way too handsy. Let's be honest, that Cardinals touchdown is set up by a Joey Porter penalty where it was unnecessary to grab the receiver at that time, Laskers.
Oh, I definitely agree. But again, at that same time, there was a call that was questionable if it should have been pass interference, at least from what we saw on the big screen.
Oh, it was. He grabs his arm and pulls him backwards. That is textbook pass interference. I've watched it 3 times, and only way you say that isn't PI is if you have on black and gold colored glasses, Laskers.
Well, I do have on black and gold colored glasses, but
same.
On the big screen, at least what they were showing us, it was very close if it was pass interference. I won't deny that it probably was pass interference, but it was very close from what they showed on the big screen.
It was. I mean, he's shown some good stuff. He's a good press corner. That's where he's the best at. But we got to see those weaknesses finally come through. And to me, though, Gingy, the part I want to get to, I cannot get over how much of this loss needs to be pinpointed purely on the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching staff. This is a team that didn't have their team ready. This is a team that didn't scheme to play the Arizona Cardinals. This is exactly the problem we've had with the Pittsburgh Steelers going on a decade now. And this is why a lot of people are upset is, but Tomlin doesn't lose. And I used to be in that boat, but after 7 years of just stuck in mediocrity, when you don't change and your only answer every week is the standard, and Gingy, we've been talking about it for 3 years now. The hell is the standard? 9-8? Is that the standard now? And is that what we should expect if the Pittsburgh Steelers refuse to make a change?
Well, I don't know what kind of change you're expecting to make, Donkey, but I mean, at the coaching
hire
staff,
from outside the organization. And I
yeah,
don't mean
you're still going to talk about
coordinator spot.
You talk about devoid of talent, devoid of coaching. Well, you got to have something working there for you, Donkey. I've seen some folks talking about perhaps
TJ Watt
putting Mike Tomlin on the trade market.
That would be sweet. I would be down for that. TJ Watt is what's working for this team. That dude is otherworldly. And I've said this to you before. When you're a mediocre football team, this is the most important thing to do. Get really good at the turnover margin. And if you look the last 3 years, Gingy, the one spot the Steelers have been top 10 consistently is turnover margin. They preach to not turn the ball over and let teams beat themselves, and it is a very good way to build yourself a very ugly-looking 9-8 football team. Laskers, you got something?
I was going to say, don't overlook Alex Highsmith, especially opposite of TJ Watt. I mean, he's been showing up every game. I mean, he finished with a sack and a half last week, so you can't overlook his contributions on the defense.
I'll say what I always say on Highsmith. That dude is a really good pass rusher and a big part of the reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers get run all over.
Well, I don't disagree with that either.
Situational player who is, I would put him in the good category. I mean, we have some good players on this team, but devoid of talent normally just means compare this team to other NFL teams. Every NFL team is going to have 4 or 5 good players, right? Where are you when it comes after that? And the reason I want to say this was on coaching, and I'm going to go on a little rant here, is how many illegal procedures plays did we have where the freaking offensive tackle isn't covered up? That's ridiculous. We had to call a timeout on offense because we only had 10 people on the damn field for a third down. We had to call a timeout on defense because we have 12 damn players playing defense. We have 3 special teams penalties. This is unacceptable stuff happening week in, week out. This is the 3rd straight week, by the way. We had to call a timeout because we either didn't have enough players on offense or too many players on defense. That stuff can't be happening in December. That has to fall squarely on the coaching staff. There's nothing else to say about it. And right now, the Steeler way, the standard is the standard. Yeah, the Steeler way is we make coordinators come up through our system so they understand how to play boring football. The standard is we win more football games than we lose. Hell, even Art has said that, hey, why would I get rid of a coach who wins more games than he loses? Because at some point, you have to take a chance and you have to be able to push this team forward into competitive nature. Because the worst thing that happens is, oh, boo-hoo, you fall on your face and you get one of those elite talents that's available in the top 10. We don't get that stuff. We haven't drafted well, but there's 2 huge plays I want to point out. I talked about some coaching things. There's still my 2 favorite plays that I haven't talked about. On 3rd and 7, right after you decide to go for it on 4th and 1 from their own 1, you're forcing them to drive 99 yards. On 3rd and 7, you drop 8 into coverage, and all 8 drop back at least 10 yards. It's 3rd and 7. You gave them a free first down, which jumpstarts the drive. That is coaching. That is stupid. But we're not done. What happened on that fourth down play right before? The power running team can't get 1 yard. Gingy, you just got a guy hurt. And yeah, Kenny Pickett was, but everyone seems to forget. Isaac Seumalo also got hurt on that play of Kenny Pickett. The next play, you run a running play behind Nate Herbig, or Nick Herbig, I might have said the wrong one.
Wait, Donkey, don't forget that was a shotgun
behind
run.
The brand new offensive guard. He's not in the game. He's not in game action. And you design a run play to go right behind an injury replacement. That's coaching, Gingy.
Also, don't forget that was from the shotgun.
Yeah, I don't even get me started on that. I'm more pissed that they ran behind an injury replacement on a quote-unquote power run when the best run blocker on that team's Broderick frickin' Jones. Run it off right damn tackle, man.
That would have been the best choice, in my opinion, as well, Donkey.
It's just, Laskers, how am I supposed to believe this team is going to go anywhere forward when the coaches can't seem to scheme up the simple things? And you can say whatever you want. You can be like, that's not true, Donkey. That's not true, blah, 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 blah. Yet every team, every week, has the same damn thing they say. We know what the Steelers are going to do. We know how they're going to play us on defense. We know what they're going to run on offense. That's coaching. Something needs to be done to give the fan base the feel that this team is moving the right way, Lasker.
Oh, you're right, but also you got to be able to change it up so that the other team doesn't know exactly what play you're going to run in what situation. I mean, that's just silly coaching if they know before you're going to even, they snap the ball or you're going to snap the ball what you're going to run. That's just dumb if they know exactly what you're going to do.
Gingy, one more coaching thing I want to talk about. In a game where you're playing from behind the whole game, your most explosive player in the passing game and the running games, Jaylen Warren. How the hell is last week, in terms of snap count, Najee Harris's highest snap count on the season? You're telling me in a game where we need to make up points and quick, Jaylen Warren doesn't get to see the field?
Yeah, I have no idea how that playbook changes between Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky at this point, if they're still running the same stuff, if they've got something different stuff going on, but I feel like it clearly does change, Donkey, and I don't think that we have the same options available to us without our first-string quarterback.
I'll tell you how it changes is Mitch is willing to throw the ball down the field whether or not it's triple covered, so this could be good or bad going forward because
we've seen evidence from the past has showed what it
he's going to be aggressive, Gingy. He's going to be aggressive. And I was like, man, you threw it into triple coverage twice last week. I'm not very happy to hear aggressive. Mason Cole, let's not forget to give him his just due demerits. Dude can't block anything this year, has 2 bad snaps, one which leads to the turnover, which costs the Steelers dearly, as they're not a team that can turn the ball over. We've seen that. My, oh my, when your offensive line play is bad in the middle, it's hard to look good at all.
I think there's actually 3 bad snaps.
But there's 2 specifically I remember on the ground, so at least 2. It's just... Gingy, I just have a hard time because I watch that game, and when a 3-10 football team has more talent than the Steelers, and I've watched the team, the coaches can't seem to scheme to stop anybody. Hell, we knew Arizona's best receiving option was their tight end, and we knew they wanted to run the ball. What did we let them do? Throw it to the tight end and run the ball. I think they had 1 reception by a wide receiver, Gingy. That's not a win in my book because that means we were leaving, and if you watch the game, we were leaving Mykal Walker, who couldn't cover my old out-of-shape ass, in one-on-one coverage with their best guy. You know the tight ends where they're going. How about a little double X, and you double-team the damn tight end, Gingy? Just once, try to take away the other team's best option. Just once.
Gingy, before you chime in, so there were 5 receptions besides McBride.
1 by a receiver. I think it's only 1 by a receiver.
I'd have to look and see what these other players are, so I don't know.
And it was the 1 up the sideline on Joey Porter Jr. But Gingy, when is this team going to learn the modern day NFL isn't this antiquated bull stuff The modern day NFL is you take away the opponent's best and then you exploit their weakness. When are the Steelers going to learn you have to innovate? It's not 2006 anymore.
Don't guess not the standard. The standard
There was
is
two.
the standard.
It's 2006. The standard is 2006. Okay.
So there were two wide receivers that caught a ball.
Nice.
Everything else was tight end.
Yeah, how many we got to get? What did we do that first drive, Donkey, where we ended up with 3 instead of 7 again in the red zone? They're pushing the ball downfield. Big conversion from George Pickens. Would have loved to see more of that. Where did that go after the first drive, Donkey?
So the Arizona Cardinals ran zone about 85% of the game last week. That was the one play we ran a zone-beating concept. We ran a shallow hook on the left side of the formation, which got the corner to drop down, and then ran a deep cross right below him, which lets Kenny Pickett put the ball in front of the safety for a big reception, right? The Steelers did not run another overload play the rest of the game. I wonder what that falls on. Is that player execution again, or is that coaching? Everyone keeps blaming these players, and yeah, they got to play better, but you can only play as good as your coach, man. If you're told to drop back 10 yards in coverage and they throw it for an 8-yard first down, that's not execution, that's coaching. And that's what the problem is. We run this antiquated standard is the standard Steeler way BS week in, week out, and then are happy because we end the season with 9 or 10 wins and getting blown out by the Cleveland Clowns at home in the playoffs. Is that what we should expect for the next decade? Because if so, I would rather go 3-15 and draft a future quarterback every damn year, because at least I would have hope.
Yeah, count me out on that for the next 10 years, Donkey. No, we need something. We need something.
Count me out, too. I don't think I'm going to go to another Steelers game if that's the standard.
My question is, where does that something come from? We can get into this. Let's start getting into what that something is by going into the New England game. We'll try to keep this a little happy. I decided to have a rant because, man, having a 3-10
You needed it, Donkey.
3-10 football
You needed
team
it.
look better than you. 3-10 team look better than you. That's at home at that. Like, if we laid the egg at Arizona, a little different. But doing that in front of the home crowd, man, that's embarrassment. Pittsburgh versus New England. Steelers are 16-18 all time. 16-18 all time against the Patriots. Thanks a lot, Tom Brady. You're a jerk. At home, we're 12-11. This game is at Acrisure, right? I'm not crazy.
Yes, it is.
All right, 12-11. The biggest win in the series was 1986. New England won 34-0. Steelers' biggest win was in 72. The first time we ever played the Patriots, we win 33-3. The longest streak, both New England and Pittsburgh have a 5-gamer. Pittsburgh's was 89-95. New England's was 2013 to 2017. Yeah, I remember a crap ton of that time. Thanks again, Tom Brady.
Yep.
Currently, New England's won 2 in a row, including the 18th of September in 2022, they beat us 17-14. You look at a lot of these New England-Pittsburgh scores from the past, there's a lot of games where neither team reaches 20. I think it's like 50% of the games, if not more, neither team reaches 20. So, history is probably about to repeat itself on Thursday. As far as it goes, the Donk Nation Power Index likes the Steelers to win this game. And New England is one of the worst teams in points against expected. On offense, they're like a -10. The Steelers are a -5. Defensively, both of them are actually +2.5. So 2 teams of very similar pedigrees here. Good defenses, not great defenses, and terrible offenses. So, Chingy, what the heck should we expect? Last week was a huge homecoming for James Conner. Is Juju about to light up the scoreboard?
I'd expect a low-scoring football game with lots of punting.
That's sadly what I feel as well. Laskers, I believe Ramondre Stevenson got hurt last week and isn't going to play this week. So does that mean Ezekiel Elliott's going to get a chance to try and turn back the clocks?
No, I think that's definitely a chance, and I'm scared because, yeah, the Patriots defense is not that good, but they just held the Chargers to 6 points.
Weather in that game was atrocious. Just so we're clear.
Yeah, there's a chance of rain, I think, tomorrow.
And if you're going to call the Steelers' defense good, you have to call New England's defense good because New England's offense screws their defense more than the Steelers' offense does. And when it comes to points a game, the Steelers are at 19, New England's at 21. Yards per play, New England's a better defense than the Steelers. The Steelers are better in the turnover margin and a little bit better in the sack rate. But when you look at the whole board numbers, these two teams are very, very similar in terms of everything outside of turnover margin.
So here's a good thing is Juju is listed as questionable for tomorrow, but I mean, that doesn't really mean anything. It's an ankle injury, but who knows if it's as bad as Kenny's.
So is half of our roster, and there's some big injuries, Gingy. The Steelers actually did a decent job of acquiring inside linebacker depth, and there is currently 0 of it left, Gingy. There is a starting quarterback who's not going to play. There is the best offensive lineman this year in totality in Isaac Seumalo, likely not to play. There's an injury to the good run stuff and rookie Keanu Benton that's going to keep him maybe out, or at least probably limited, as they're going to get Montravis Adams back, which means more of him. All of this scares me because just like last week when I told you you're not worried about the fact that Arizona's 2 targets they have a good running back and a good tight end, you're like, nah, this is a team we should easily win, and I agreed with you. We have the same damn situation, Gingy. A 2-win team whose only good targets are their tight ends in Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki, and a good running game.
So Benton is not listed as out or questionable.
Well, he's been limited every practice this week, so...
Yeah, I'm just looking at the injury report. He's not listed as questionable or out.
Means he's going to play, and it's probably going to just be in a limited fashion. But, Gingy, I have an odd feeling of deja vu right now.
Yeah, they're similarly looking built teams. Gonna have to do something different. Can't let the run get going.
That's for sure. There's 2 things I think really have going for the Steelers here. Is one, they're coming off an embarrassing loss, and I've always said teams coming off embarrassing losses tend to give a really good effort the next week. That's one. Number 2, well, you want to know something? It's a short week. I've always said short weeks when teams are similar tend to go to the home team. Luckily, the Steelers are the home team, so we have that working for us. But, boy, Mitch Trubisky saying he's going to be aggressive. The strong point of New England is probably their cornerback plays with C.J. Jackson, and I can't remember the other guy's name right now, and I'm not near my notes. But, I have a feeling if the Steelers are sloppy with the football, we're going to look at a repeat from last week, Laskers.
Oh, I definitely agree. I mean... Mitch has got to be careful with that ball, but he also has to take risks, and that's going to be the biggest thing. Is he going to take the risk to try to force a ball in that is a 50-50 ball for, we'll just say, Pickens. I was going to say Pickett, but it's going to be a question. So here's the good thing is Mason Cole's been limited all week.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing. I understand he's been playing bad, but I'm going to tell you something. This is the NFL. If we had a better player, he'd be playing. Yeah, so, well, maybe not in the Steelers' case, but I don't know. That makes me nervous. Don't have the same good feeling I had last week, mainly because after watching that game and realizing, you know what, I just expected too much because that's the case. I think it really is going to break down to some quarterback play and who's clean with it. But I guess we should do some cash or trash. Laskers, do you want to start today or you want to go to Gingy?
Yeah, sure, I'll start.
All right, Laskers, the Steelers seem to be really slacking in the touchdowns, although we threw a touchdown in garbage time last week. Do the Steelers offense score 2 or more touchdowns week against New England?
I'm going to trash that one.
Fair enough. Gingy, we're going to go special teams on the offensive side here. The Steelers have not won net punting in almost every game. I think there's one game this year where we out net punted the other team in yards per attempt, net yards per attempt. Chris Boswell's coming off a rare miss. Do the Steelers have a better field goal percentage, better net punting, and better kickoff starting field position from kickoffs than New England this week? In other words, does the special teams facet be a positive this week?
Factored in, yes, they do. Get Danny Smith's unit comes back strong, Donkey. There were some bad mistakes last week. Killebrew, usually the big play guy, captain, had some very unforced mental errors. I look for them to bounce back this week.
I hope you're right. Let's go over to Laskers. Laskers, the Steelers' point production increases as Jaylen Warren's snap count increases. That's the way it's been all year. The more snaps Warren has got has led to the higher scoring games for the Steelers. So cash or trash, the Steelers are finally going to use analytics, and we are going to see Jaylen Warren get more snaps than Najee Harris.
I'm actually going to cash.
Caveat,
I'm going to cash in because Najee's hurt. That's why I'm going to cash that one.
There is the chance that Najee Harris doesn't even play this week. So, I like your take there. Gingy, let's get back to you. Oh my God, Pat Freiermuth looked like he was going to be an all-star superstar for 1 week, and then nothing. The Steelers will make a focal point to get Freiermuth the football with a minimum of 5 receptions. Cash or trash?
Cash it in, they better. That's a sound part of the offense. Tight end, safety blanket.
Laskers! I wanted to save the best one for you. Mitch Trubisky's turnover rate isn't terrible as a starter for the Steelers, but when relieving Kenny Pickett, it's been absolutely atrocious. So, cash or trash, Mitch Trubisky can limit it to 2 turnovers, less than 2 turnovers. If he makes 2, you lose the bet is the way it's going.
Oh boy. I'm going to cash that one. Let's go for the risk.
Laskers is expecting Mitch Trubisky to get knocked out in the second play of the game, and
Mason Rudolph is going in.
Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. My God, a bend but don't break defense that gives up 99 yards. Are you allowed to call him bend but don't break anymore, Gingy?
I certainly didn't look like that last week, no.
So, Gingy, my question for you is, this week the Pittsburgh Steelers will get back to that bend don't break style and will not allow a touchdown drive of over 60 yards.
Touchdown drive is 60 yards. That's interesting. That's hard to do when when you start on your opponent's side of the field. But however, cash that in. Look for splash play this week. That was really what I was missing last week on defense. Had a sack, but no big splashes on defense. Look for that.
See, I knew Gingy would mention splash plays. So
Donkey, let me interrupt real quick. Gingy, you just said we're gonna do really well on special teams, so they shouldn't be starting on our side of the ball. Or our side of the field.
They certainly were. Yes, they shouldn't be. Like I said last week, I was thinking about games to this point, and they haven't been. We need to do better in that area. Because, we can't even give up a 60-yard drive most of the time.
Fair. Laskers, now that I'm all out of sync here, I knew Gingy was going to mention splash, so I was going straight to splash plays next. The Steelers will force 2 or more turnovers this week against the Patriots.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to trash that. I think they can actually hold on to the ball. I think they're going to surprise us and do better than what we think.
Yikes.
Fair enough. Gingy, let's get to you here. 2 good tight ends there in New England, Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki, both pretty good receiving tight ends. The Steelers are going to be able to limit those two to under 100 combined receiving yards. Cash or trash?
Yeah, I trash that. Doubt that. Haven't seen that in most of my lifetime. Steelers being able to specifically limit opponents' tight ends. I don't know if it happens this week, but 100 yards combined, that would be quite a feat for the New England offense, but I'm skeptical.
Fair enough. Laskers, Steelers running game. Okay, the Steelers are very good at missing tackles. However, this week they are going to be positive in the tackling category. And by that I mean yards after contact is going to be limited to less than 2, and missed tackles will be 5 or less. Cash or trash?
Oh, give me a minute. I gotta look at these running backs. So,
like I said, I don't know if Stevenson's going to play, but he's a pretty good one. After that, they got Zeke. I mean,
Zeke, yeah,
historically good at getting yards after contact and breaking tackles. I don't know what he's doing this year because why would I be looking at a 2-10 football team? But those seem to be our bugaboo. So here we stand today. As I'm going
to cash that one in. I think that we can actually tackle this week.
Gingy, last one for you is, with all these injuries, cash or trash, you actually know the name of the Steelers starting middle linebackers.
Trash that in. They're getting pretty thin back there, donkey.
You could, my understanding is you can buy some Pokemon cards off of our soon-to-be starter Blake Martinez, as that's what he quit football to do a couple years ago. He's back, and yeah, that's all I can really say is he's back.
Don't hate.
Well, that wraps it up for me in terms of everything I have about the game. Laskers, Gingy, a final thought from you guys. Give a breakdown of what you see going on, how you feel the thing's going to go. Leave out your score because we'll get those later and your winner. But just give me a take on how you feel. Laskers, go ahead.
I'm feeling really, 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 really concerned about how this game's going to go. After last week, I have very little confidence in this team. I mean, we're basically going into the same thing as last week, and last week didn't go very well for us, so I'm concerned.
We might have the more talented roster this time, Laskers. New England does not have a Kyler Murray, so
I don't disagree. They don't have a Kyler Murray or James Conner. I mean, Zeke has been that bad.
Was in the past.
There's a reason that the Cowgirls got rid of him.
Gingy, go ahead.
Low scoring, sleeper of a Thursday night game. Oh boy, I think that there's going to be. I think the Steelers are going to grit one out. Like I said, I'll leave out my score. I think they're going to. They're going to. They're
40.
40. Okay, donkey. I called for the explosion. I called for 27 last week. I was a hair off. All right. The garbage touchdown at the end, and I didn't. We didn't even get to that
I predicted
point.
More than you.
Yeah, you did, like 30 to 27 or whatever. So an extra field goal, but still, there was no explosion anywhere except
there was no explosion.
Let me just stop it there. But I digress.
Hey, the weather delays at least prolonged our misery.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted to hear either. Okay, this week we are looking at a short week. Injury-ridden, gonna have to show some grit, gonna have to show some depth. Next man up. This is gonna require some coaching. I hope they're able to get it done.
All right, I like it. I see I really want to say I see a team playing good, but I don't see either of these teams playing good. I do think I might fall asleep multiple times, and the game starts at 4 p.m. for me, so that's kind of inexcusable. But anyone on the East Coast, good luck. I hope you have your Prime Vision on, and I hope that Herb Street and Michaels can keep it entertaining, because honestly, when they go off the wire on some of the crappy games, it is good football to listen to. Not to watch, but to listen to.
So, Donkey, the one thing I'm looking forward to is Fitzmagic at halftime.
Oh, God. Yeah,
give me
that's
Wolfley
neither here nor there. We got other AFC North games we got to pick. We got Indy versus Cincy Laskers. Who'd you like there? I think it's Indy, right?
Yes.
Who'd you like there? Cincy coming off a big win against Jacksonville last week.
Oh, boy. That's a tight one because it's actually at Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Colts.
Genji.
Colts coming off a fairly big division win too. Give me the Colts. Cincy without Joe Burrow is just so sus.
Give me the kitty cats that are streaking and Jake Browning.
Yeah.
Jake Browning hasn't hit that 4 career start yet.
Is.
4th career starts when you figure him out. Give me Jake Browning in the first of 3 battles of backup quarterbacks that we're going to see happening in AFC North football this week. Battle number 2 of backup quarterbacks. It looks like Sunshine Lawrence isn't going to play. We got Jacksonville, Cleveland, another battle of the backups. Who'd you like in this one? Laskers, we'll just go with you first all week. Why not?
Give me the Browns at home.
Gingy.
Yeah, not to echo Laskers, but give me the Browns. They've slumped here since their Steelers win. Look for them to get back on track at home.
This is a Browns streak I don't want to be a part of, but yeah, let's take the Browns at home. Let's go to the resurgent red-hot LA Rams coming to play the well-rested Baltimore Ravens. Who did you like in that one, Laskers?
Give me the Ravens on that one. The Ravens are trying to win the division. They're trying to get that first place, Give me the Ravens.
Going for the first seed in the AFC.
Yep. Or Gingy, who you like?
Yeah, give me the stanky Ravens.
Give me the Ravens, too, because I think Puka Nacua got hurt pretty good last week. Looks like he probably won't play. And, it's hard to lose an elite weapon. That leaves us New England, Pittsburgh, the moneymaker. The Steelers still the number 1 team in the wild card because the AFC is a bunch of mediocrity this year. I don't know what to say. Steelers still control their destiny, Laskers. It's Thursday night. There's a bad taste in our mouth. What are you feeling?
Oh, the Steelers definitely control their destiny, and they need to win this game, but give me the Patriots 17 and 13, I guess. And my X Factor, give me a minute. I got to figure out who I'm going to pick.
Bailey Zappe, it seems like. Elliott. Hunter
Jalen Warren with 1 touchdown.
I love Lasker's pick of X Factors on losing football teams. That is my favorite.
Well, why am I going to pick a Patriots player that I don't fucking know?
Fair enough.
That's a fair point.
Gingy, how you seeing this go?
I'll take 17 too, but give me 17 for the home team. 17-9 Steelers. We do bend but don't break. Keep them off the board. They do get 3 field goals, but the Steelers get back on track, score at least 2 touchdowns. Give me the X Factors, Najee Harris. Let me see him step back up. I see shades of RB1 material. Donkey, let me see it run. Let me see him run it right down their throat.
Laskers picks a X Factor from the losing team. Gingy picks a power back that can't get 1 yard and might not even play in the game. I am absolutely in love with what is going on this podcast right now.
It's a short week, Donkey.
It makes me happy. It really does.
Short week.
I like the Steelers, and this is the best score ever. You idiots think someone's going to score a touchdown? Get the hell out of here. Give me the Steelers 12-5. Let's take home the bacon with Boswell as the X Factor.
That's my normal X Factor.
Okay. I don't even know where to go from here.
Okay.
I have lost all shambles of what is happening. Shout-outs, that's where we go next. Laskers, do you have one after that game?
No, I really don't.
I know.
I was trying to think of one, but I can't think of one.
Gingy, any shout-outs after that game? I know you hate them after losses.
Yeah, not in a positive way. No, I don't know. I'm not going to taint the shout-out segment with any negativity, Donkey. Let's just keep it rolling. Let's see how we go through on a short week. This is either going to be a somewhat bearable 9 days until the next Steeler football, or a very, very sad time.
Fair enough. I have one shout out, and it's to the boy James Conner. I still love you. I don't care if the Steelers didn't want you and you had to go to Pittsburgh West in Arizona. Watching him come back and ball out in Acrisure Stadium, the former Heinz Field, just felt right, just felt good. And you know what? If someone was going to run us over, I'd rather it be James Conner than someone else, because at least I could be happy that dude still got it. So, I guess it's time. Any closing thoughts from you two?
I got nothing.
Short week. It's crazy, Donkey. We'll keep it rolling.
And I am the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter the X. Your Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger is the YouTube channel where you get this fun content. We will not be hitting up anything, but this weekend I'll try to put out a bug cap so that there's something fun for people to listen to if they want to. Crazy week, short week, fun week. Laskers and Gingy taking time out on a late night is much appreciated. Laskers, tell them what's up.
I'm a Laskers everywhere, and unfortunately, I'm not going to the game tomorrow. Or fortunately, I don't know. But yeah, just the Laskers everywhere. Gingy to you.
Steeler fans, time to bounce back on a short week. We're hanging out, chilling, talking football. Wave them if you got them. They're going to need all the positive vibes that you could send. Here we go, Steelers.